If you are looking for an absolute masterclass in high-stakes underworld tension, glittering nightlife aesthetics, and a pulse-pounding, deeply emotional forbidden mafia Heir meets hidden identity tactical trajectory, you need to clear your calendar for K.A. Tucker. We are stepping directly into the elite, calculation-heavy upper echelons of a dangerous city dynasty with Sweet Mercy, a spectacular, high-gear and beautifully executed series starter that establishes the Empire Nightclub series as an elite, undisputed vanguard in modern dark contemporary romance. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of stories where an iron-willed, hyper-powerful syndicate enforcer must navigate an absolute family succession war while tracking a gorgeous, fiercely independent younger woman who enters his territory under false pretenses, where a brilliant heroine uses deep emotional camouflage to insulate her heart from elite criminal trauma, and where the author utilizes an incandescent forbidden alliances in the shadows diagnostic routine to test their psychological safety buffers, this book is engineered to lock you in. Tucker completely dominates the unput-downable mafia noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing momentum and sharp, high-frequency physical bond tension popularized by Rena Kent, J.T. Geisinger, and Daniel Laurie, while treating personal healing, elite organizational power plays, and raw protective devotion with exquisite care. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our alpha hero, a cold, calculation-heavy scion of an immense criminal enterprise. He doesn't seek validation, he enforces absolute control, managing the multi-million-dollar empire's assets through the glittering terminal of the city's most exclusive nightclub. His defensive perimeters have been locked down tight for years, his analytical focus entirely consumed by territorial logistics, institutional loyalty, and keeping his operations insulated from external chaos or family anomalies. The spark ignites when our beautiful, fiercely resilient heroine breaches his active scanning perimeter. She arrives carrying an incredibly complex history and a high-intellect hidden identity, seeking answers, closure, and a secure safety buffer from the toxic truths buried deep within her family's past. She wasn't part of his logistical deployment plans, but the moment her personal metrics collide with his within the dim, exclusive VIP lounges of his club, his fiercely protective, possessive instincts engage their tracking grids, triggering an immediate system anomaly in his cold, clinical logic. The tactical parameters explode as the forced proximity reality of her presence turns his structured world into a volatile psychological pressure cooker. Our Alpha Titan transforms into a fiercely realistic, entirely pragmatic shield, deploying his massive underworld tradecraft, lethal physical presence, and elite connections to establish an absolute security perimeter around her life when hostile factions discover her true identity and try to permanently erase her from the sector. Every late-night psychological standoff across mahogany desks, every shared moment of quiet vulnerability in an empty penthouse, and every fiercely possessive touch chips away at their respective logical defense mechanisms. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of logistical perspective and raw survival. They find their clinical defense mechanisms completely unwrapped by each other's presence. While he smooths over her external threats with devastating force, she becomes the only stabilizing asset capable of holding his dark soul together when his family empire faces a total structural breach from hidden betrayers. It is a dark contemporary romance, mafia suspense, hidden identity drama, forced proximity crime noir masterpiece that treats deep street logistics and raw romantic intensity with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency toucher and the entire city burns energy, where a sudden shift in boardroom dynamics, an unexpected encounter behind locked office doors, or a heavy, possessive hand resting on a waist behind a row of private VIP terminals carries massive structural weight. Tucker writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the clinical, cold hum of armored vehicles, the oppressive atmosphere of an elite underground gala, and the distinct, subtle scent of expensive cologne, velvet cushions, gunsmoke, and pure, unadulterated passion. What truly elevates this milestone series starter into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance realistic emotional healing alongside breathless romantic heat. Our heroine isn't a fragile asset waiting to be rescued. Her immense psychological grit, razor-sharp wit, and independent drive match the complexity of the dangerous world her protector dominates step for step, making her choice to surrender to the bond feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense emotional stalemates and breathtaking physical defensive sequences before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping final confrontation that delivers permanent, hard-earned setup for the next tactical phase. Sweet Mercy is the definitive pro-level upgrade your dark contemporary romance and high-stakes crime fiction library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire universe is fractured by family expectations and syndicate warfare, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to trust the man who would conquer empires just to keep you safe. So secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to cross the line.